Alright, so a lot of people have been asking me about my opinion on the Wade Robson accusation on Michael Jackson that Michael sexually molested him as a kid. For those of you who don't know, Wade Robson met Michael Jackson during Michael's Bad tour in the 80s, late 80s, because Wade had won some competition in Australia. Then they only saw each other maybe twice. Then in the early 90s, while Michael was recording his Dangerous album, Wade's mom had reached out to Michael's secretary, and I guess they missed him or whatever, and they wanted to hang out. So then they began a friendship, Michael, Wade, and Wade's family. It was November 2003. That's when the allegations broke and the raid of Neverland happened or whatever. So we'll fast forward directly to the trial where Wade, who was now accusing Michael Jackson of molesting him, defended Michael Jackson in 2005, saying that he was never molested, he was never touched inappropriately, nothing inappropriate ever happened. He defended Michael all the way through 2012. As we all know, Michael died in 2009. Even in 2009, up until 2012, Wade was defending him. Still, Wade performed in multiple tribute shows to Michael. He even gave interviews saying how Michael was an inspiration to him, how he loved Michael, how Michael was magical, bragging on their friendship, how Michael was a great friend and a great mentor to him, and things like that. And now, in 2013, the suppressed memories of child molestation surfaced on Wade's part, which you defended Michael back in 2005, and if this was the same man that molested you, while you're sitting on the stand in a molestation trial, and the description being given is of that happened to you at one point, you would think that something would have sparked, that memory to resurface, saying, hey, you know what, this sounds familiar, this happened to me. Even during that trial, Wade Robson, the one who is now accusing Michael Jackson of molestation, and his family were actually staying at Michael's house, eating Michael's food. In that very house, Wade was molested, by Michael. And being in that environment again still sparked no memory. Nothing resurfaced from the past that Michael allegedly had molested him. That's not making sense to me. A few days ago, I guess he and his team went back and they rethought everything that they had said about the whole suppressed memory thing, and they probably realized that it was a crock of bullshit and it just didn't make any kind of sense whatsoever. So now Wade gets on the Good Morning America or the Today Show or whoever decided to give him airtime, I don't remember, and he says, oh no, they're not, suppressed memories. I knew the entire time, but I didn't think it was wrong or bad, or I was confused about what was happening or what had happened. That takes us back to 2005, okay? When you testified in defense of Michael, you were about 22, 23, or 24, between 22 and 24. So you mean to tell me at the age of 24, you don't know what sexual abuse is, you don't know what misconduct against a child is. By that time, you had already slept with Britney Spears, so you were a little bit educated in sex. So I'm not understanding how you didn't know it was wrong. That, to me, makes no sense whatsoever, and it shouldn't make sense to anybody because you have to be really very small brain to even say something like that. It just makes no sense. He says that the birth of his child is what made him finally decide to speak up. I'm not buying that either, and using your child as an excuse to lie is just completely stupid. I'm thinking that the birth of his son made him look at his financial situation, because Wade Robson is broke, made him look at his financial situation and realize, hey, I ain't got no money. And everybody knows in the entertainment industry and on earth, if you want some money, accuse Michael Jackson of molesting you, sue Michael Jackson. The quickest way to make $1 million. Say Michael Jackson touched you. And there you go. And that brings me to the AEG versus Catherine Jackson civil suit that's happening. Catherine Jackson is suing AEG for $40 billion in a wrongful death suit for the death of Michael Jackson. And AEG, they were so adamant in bringing child abuse allegations into this case to defend themselves, saying that this is what drove Michael to drugs, or this is what, was keeping Michael up at night. He was paranoid, he was afraid, and thus and such, using propofol to sleep, and propofol is what killed him, so they shouldn't be held responsible, and they shouldn't have to pay. So now, when the judge threw that out, like, no, we're not going to use, a child abuse allegation case in a civil suit against a concert promoter's case, now all of a sudden, Wade Robson is being molested, or had been molested. I would not be shocked if AG's giving this man millions of dollars to say, hey, Michael touched me. Just to get the focus back on Michael's trials and tribulations, and to get people to think he was a broken man, or he was a pedophile, or that's why he was, using propofol. Bad taste. It's all done in bad taste. Because honestly, if you were molested, you should have spoken up. If you were molested, you should have said something when it had happened. You should not have waited until someone dies. You should not wait years and then seek money for it, because you can't criminally prosecute a dead man. It's impossible. And then Wade claims, oh, it's not for the money. It's I'm doing this for my son, and this, that, and the third. However, Wade goes and he files a creditor's claim against Michael Jackson's estate, and he files a civil suit against Michael Jackson's estate. All have something to do with money. It makes no sense whatsoever. Because people need to think about Michael's kids, okay? His kids are teenagers now. His kids have to go to school. They have to listen to this on television. They have to listen to this on social media. They have to see this on the internet. You know what I mean? It has to be hard for them, But instead of thinking about the good thing and thinking about his kids, everybody's out here worried about the money. And not thinking that his children have to grow up still. And his children have to live. Still, he's not here to protect them. Who's protecting these kids? Who's thinking about the kids? One line that always sticks out in my head every time I think of situations like this. Michael says, watch the ones with the biggest smiles, the idle jabbers, because they're the backstabbers. And that's the perfect way to describe his current situation. He befriended Wade Robson and his family. He put Wade onto jobs. He brought Wade into the industry. You know what I mean? And now look. The only thing Michael Jackson is guilty of is wanting to help people, giving back, and making badass, great-ass, kick-ass music, and putting on the best performances anybody's ever seen in this lifetime. And that's just what it is. So, think about it. Wade Robson, get a job.